Subscribe and download over 1 million code snippet including this tutorial from codegive.com, link in the description below. Certainly. In Python, async def and def are both used for defining functions, but they work differently, especially in handling asynchronous operations. Here's an informative tutorial to understand the differences between async def and def with code examples. The def keyword is used to define a regular synchronous function in Python. When you define a function with def, it executes its code sequentially and blocks the execution until it completes. In this example, the greet function is synchronous. When greet, Alice, is called, it executes synchronously, and the program waits until the function returns the result. The async def keyword is used to define an asynchronous function. Asynchronous functions enable non-blocking behavior, allowing the program to continue execution while waiting for I/O operations, like reading from a file or making network requests, to finish. In this example, async_greet is an asynchronous function that simulates an asynchronous operation with asyncio.sleep. The await keyword is used to pause the execution of async_greet until the asynchronous operation, asyncio.sleep, completes. Blocking versus non-blocking, functions defined with def are synchronous and block the execution until they finish, while async def functions can be paused and resumed, allowing other code to run while waiting for I/O operations. Await keyword, asynchronous functions use await to wait for the completion of other asynchronous functions or operations. Event loop, asynchronous code typically requires an event loop to manage the execution of asynchronous tasks. In the example above, asyncio.run, main, starts the event loop to run the asynchronous main function. Understanding the differences between def and async def is crucial when working with asynchronous programming in Python. Choosing the right type of function depends on the specific requirements of your code and whether you need asynchronous behavior to improve performance and responsiveness. Feel free to experiment with the provided examples to get a better grasp of how def and async def functions operate in Python. In Python, asynchronous programming is a paradigm that allows you to write non-blocking code, enabling better utilization of resources in tasks that involve waiting, such as I/O operations or network requests. Two keywords, async def and def, are used to define functions in Python, but they serve different purposes when it comes to asynchronous programming. The def keyword is used to define synchronous functions. Synchronous functions execute line by line, and if any operation within the function takes time, the entire program waits for that operation to complete before moving on. Here's an example of a synchronous function. In this example, calling synchronous_function would block the entire program for approximately 3 seconds due to the blocking operation. The async def keyword is used to define asynchronous functions. Asynchronous functions allow other tasks to run while waiting for non-blocking operations to complete. Here's an example of an asynchronous function. In this example, calling asynchronous_function does not block the entire program. While waiting for the non-blocking operation to complete, other tasks can be executed concurrently. Asynchronous functions often use the await keyword to pause execution until the awaited operation completes. The await keyword is used within an async def function to wait for other asynchronous tasks to finish. Here's an example combining async def and await. In this example, the main function creates two asynchronous tasks, task 1 and task 2, and waits for both to complete using await asyncio.gather. The program will not block during the execution of asynchronous_function. Understanding the difference between async def and def is crucial for effective asynchronous programming in Python. Use def for synchronous code and async def for asynchronous code, allowing your program to handle concurrent tasks more efficiently. ChatGPT.